Hello students, today we will learn the next topic in the big data analytics, that is life cycle of data analytics. This big data analytics, so we have different stakeholders for implementation of the project. So whenever we think to have a project implementation, then these are the stakeholders which take part into the final process of implementation. Whenever a company or organization want to have big data analytics or they want to process on their data, then these stakeholders will take care of the data or throughout the process of implementation. First is a business user. Business user is a regular employee, a regular person who is working in the organization and which has all the information related to the project and the data. So this particular person will hold or will have the total information and details which it can provide to a particular person. Then this particular person can be named as a manager of the organization or different managers of the organization which works in different departments. Then a project sponsorer, a person who is going to pay for the complete implementation of project is a project sponsorer. He will be having a money to invest in this particular project. Then we have got a project manager which will keep track on the time frame during or throughout this particular project implementation, whether the plan is going as per the expectation or not, because every time whenever we have a project that to be delivered in a specific defined time. So every project will have a number of stages and each stage should be implemented in the defined frame, and once it is done, then only the next part of the project can be implemented. So this project manager will always keep track on the project time management process. The next is business intelligent analyst. So when a particular project implementation is going on, it will see that whether the project is performing well, whether the particular project is having or being executed as per the expectation of the user or the customer, and at every stage he will check whether the requirements are being delivered or not. Even at the final stage he will verify whether the deliverables are right as per expectation or not. Then we have database administrator. So this database administrator will have the control of the complete database. So he is from the starting stage of the organization whenever the digitization has been started. He knows all the structure of the data, how the data is being implemented and updated in the project, what is the process or regular implementation is done on this particular data. So he is having the total control of the project or the database. So when he will provide the access of the data set or database, then only the data engineer will process on it. He will create a sandbox for a data scientist. Sandbox for a data scientist means a particular data set, it will collect all the structured and non-structured data and whatever is required for the from this particular organization as data which can be further used by a data scientist. So job of a data engineer is to process, work on a database which is provided by a database administrator, also include unstructured data and create a sandbox. So this particular sandbox will be further used by data scientists for generating the required results as per the expectation of the customer. This is a data analysis life cycle. So this particular life cycle will have all the stages included for implementation of the project. So the stages are discovery, data preparation, data model planning, then model building. Next is communicate results and operationalize. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So all these stages are interconnected. They have this arrow to and from one to first or between two levels. So these two levels can be switched from through and fro so that the result will be generated as per the requirement. If first stage is done, and then we'll move to the second stage. But during second stage, if it is something is identified that to be corrected in the stage 1, then we'll go to stage 1, correct it, and then again come back to the second stage. So this is how we can move from any stage to any stage, because we are expecting a good quality result at the end of this data analytics project. So the stages are, first stage is discovery, second is data preparation, third is model planning, fourth is model execution, fifth is communicate results, and then operationalize. First is discovery. So when a user or he is trying to find the details of a company organization, he has to study the organization, the historical details, the data related information, what is going on, what is the current status of some organization, and we will try to find out what is the problem, existing problem for that organization. Because this discovery phase will allow us to understand the existing stage of any organization. Once we found out the existing state and the problem that to be solved, we will go to stage 2. Because in stage 1, we have finalized what we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to implement, execute throughout this project. Once the problem statement is framed, in data preparation stage or in second stage, the data will be prepared, the data will be cleaned, then it is updated with structured as well as unstructured data. It will be properly managed so that no errors or no problems can be further generated. So this is what a second stage will be for. Once the data is ready for implementation and execution of the project, then we'll go to the next stage, that is model planning. We have decided a problem statement, what is to be delivered. For that deliverables, we will frame a particular model, what should be the input and what should be the output. Model is nothing but a particular algorithm. So this algorithm will generate a particular results. But for implementation or for execution of this particular algorithm, we have to plan something. What kind of methods, what kind of technology that to be used for execution of the model will be decided in the model planning. Once we plan the model, then we'll go for a model building. Already we have decided which technique, which methodologies, which variables, which data set, how it will be implemented during this model planning. Then model building or model execution part will be taken care by in this particular stage. Model building is nothing but creating two parts, that is for a data for training and a data for testing. Once the model is created, we will provide the input data and then process it in this particular model and then get a result. Model means nothing but execution of the data, execution of the program that we have implemented, decided and coded. Once we execute this, we will get a result in this model execution phase. And this particular result will be communicated to the stakeholders, because stakeholder is the end user which is going to verify the result. This result will be provided to all the stakeholders. Stakeholders we have already seen. the data manager, then the data execution person, database administrator, almost all the stakeholders will understand the execution. If the result is satisfied, result is comfortable with all the stakeholders, then these stakeholders will approve and then will operationalize, means execute the expected things with this particular project. If the stakeholders are not satisfied, then we will keep changing the model, change the model planning according to the model. Then the process will go on until unless the result will be completely satisfied by the stakeholders. Then operationalize. This operationalize method is delivering the project reports, because now the project is ready, the project can be delivered to a particular customer, and if he is satisfied, then we are done with our job. Otherwise, we have to work more on the project throughout this particular life cycle. Thank you.